What's up, guys? Alastair Hunt here, coming from the Loft, and I got a special guest here. It's actually the man behind everything. If you saw my last recording, you heard me talk about the man who had the vision for the Loft and the owner of Miracle Farms, Leon Shastine. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, thanks for coming in and jumping in so late tonight.
I wanted you to be able to kind of expand on your vision, when it comes to the Loft and what it is that you saw. Actually, it was Miracle Farms. I want you to talk a little bit about Miracle Farms, how that came to be, and then kind of how it is that evolved into having the Loft here.
Yeah, well, just thanks so much. When we found this opportunity at the end of 2018, the Bible talks about God will give you, homes you didn't build and everything, and that's kind of what this is. And we seen the vision of it, and I was actually down praying on a Wednesday night, know exactly where I was at, and I felt like God said to me, I want to hear less about you and more about me. And so there was an M on the gate from the previous owner, and his last name, and somebody said, "Will you just start to call it Miracle Farms?" And I said, "Wow, Miracle Farms." And so we talked about it, we did, and that was the beginning of seeing how God's done some stuff, what's happening here. And then as we've had just some great things happening, it was a miracle meeting you. I'll be the first guy to say that. The last guy to say it is because none of this is, hey, it's easy to go help with start something, but it takes an expert like you that has the vision that can run the camera, set it all up, and make it just come out perfect. And it was that God moment where the perfect thing came together, and we were equal together, and it was you fix my weaknesses, and hopefully I help with yours as well. And so it's a great opportunity, I think, for us to come together and say, hey, we've got a place, Mr. Small Business Owner, we've got a place, mid-sized business owner, or even if you're doing $200 million a month in a business and you want a place that you can come hide, come to the Loft and sit down and let somebody that's got the expertise that Uncle Hunt does to make it all happen.
It's funny because you came to Grace Point, Family Church, just saying, okay, maybe I could find somebody in their AV that could help with the event venue stuff, right? And it was through a mutual friend that you ran into, said, hey, I don't do this, but maybe this guy would, and then we met and we hit it off, and then you start pitching me to the vision to be able to have a place, like you said, where the small business owner, large business owner can have a place to have a voice, right? And that's really what podcasts are, is giving people a voice. Normally you would have to have radio and spend all this money in radio, or TV and have all this money in TV. Now you have a grassroots way to be able to get your message out there, your story. You can interview other people that have stories similar to yours. Whatever it is that you really want to be able to talk about that's going to be able to help or teach others, that's what podcasting is really about, right? And then you have a lot of business experience. I have a lot of business experience. So combining those two together, we said, we can also help people with their businesses. I mean, these are people that have a vision for, where they want to take their business. And now we have the ability to be able to take them and help them with that, and then also roll that into a podcast as well. It's just it's a beautiful partnerip, and I appreciate you, brother.
Well, I appreciate you. I'm very honored, and to be able to, like you said, to have that guy that come in, just be able to sit with you. One of the things that I paid $1,000 to be on a 2-day training, and we see it every time we see an Allstate commercial. They actually take you where that mayhem person wrecks everything, but then you've got the person that comes on that's able to give clear direction. And then at the end of the path is, if you've chose whatever the insurance company's being advertised, well, you've done everything right. And that's the whole trick of storyboarding out your podcast, being able to put it out and plan for 17, 24, weeks out in advance, and have your topics all laid out. And that's what you're good at. One of the things to be able to come in and understand what that person wants to put out, and then help them storyboard it out.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been doing in business for so long, is taking people's vision and helping them actually be able to turn that into print marketing, web marketing, the whole 9 yards. Now you have this new platform to be able to get out and talk to people and expose yourself to people and what it is that you do to people in a whole different way. I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited to be able to give other people the equipment. I mean, before, if you wanted to start a podcast, and there may be people who it is that are doing the podcast from their house, and they just bought what they saw on YouTube. But now you come in here, you got professional microphones, you got the 4K camera, you got the lights, you got the the logo screen, you have the soundproof booth. This is stuff that you wouldn't normally have access to as an average everyday Joe, right?
Right.
And now you can come in here, you can rent some time at the studio and have that, and then have it professionally edited and handed it to you, where you can either publish it or we can even have a service to publish it for you.
Yeah, talk a little bit about geofencing. Talk about a little bit about if you're a business owner and you want to target certain areas, we've got the ability to help you do that, right?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different ways to be able to do that. So once it is that you have your podcast, it's really about getting it in front of the right audience. So from Facebook marketing to Instagram marketing to getting out there and making sure it is that you find your niche market and then finding an area that you want to be able to focus on. So let's say it is that you are talking to mostly business owners in your city, then you can actually target that area and get your podcast in front of them by using all the different marketing techniques. And that's part of the process that people don't understand. A lot of people, they do their podcast and they just kind of put it out there and hope their friends share it, right? But taking your podcast to the next portion of the marketing of it and actually getting it out there and then getting you booked on other people's podcasts. So that way it is that you're tapping into their audience. This is all part of taking your podcast to the next level. And that's what we want to do at the Loft.
Oh, yeah. So just remember, once the website's up, Hunt will be, putting it out there how to go to it. But this is really a private venue. You're not going to drive by here and just drive up and come walk in.
Right.
This is by invitation or you setting an appointment that somebody's here to wait on you, help you, let you in. And so it's that private setting to come out. It's almost like a retreat getaway.
Right.
You come out and sit on the front porch and look over cow pasture if you want to, and and smoke a cigar if that guy wants to, or whatever. It's a private area that you can come to as a business owner and just air your head out for a little bit and then come tell your story. And it blew me away that I seen some statistics that one of our previous setting presidents had went 2 terms. By getting his message out to the grassroots, he was the president that raised more money President Obama had ever done in any one setting, was out and asking people to go online and donate $1 here, $1 there, $5 here. So just think, with the technology that we have today, maybe a setting in the Loft and then with proper direction from you could change your whole business direction.
I'm telling you, we've had people, I've seen it. I like to watch different podcasts and what it is that they're doing, not just what they're saying, but what it is that they're doing for marketing. One of my favorite speaker, as Mel Robbins, she's one of the favorite authors. She was afraid to get into podcasting because she said, I'm too late to the game, right? She's a famous author, has TED Talk that, has umpteen billion views, but she said, I'm too late to this podcast game. And then within 1 to 2 years, she went to being the #1 podcast in the world, right?
That's what we're going to do.
Right, exactly.
That's what we're going to do.
So it just shows that if you have an idea, or if you have a thought, you're not too late to the game. And you're going to hit the people who it is that you mean to talk to, right? The people who need to be able to hear it. We've had a podcast for 4 years called The Techie and the Cowboy, me and my prayer partner, T.W. Lawrence. And we just said, we're going to put it out there. We're having these conversations anyways with each other, right? So we're just going to put it out there. And it's been amazing, some of the emails and the stories that we get back of is exactly what they needed to be able to hear, right? And that's what the podcast really is about. It's about getting your story, or get the stories, because we have guests that come in, getting the stories of the guests to the people that really need to be able to hear it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It doesn't take that one time. It's that one moment that somebody sees you, or somebody that shifts and that allows you to, that person, if you're a small mid-cap business owner and you're depending on people to buy stuff from you, well, then all of a sudden that one person sees you, they like you, and they order 1 million pieces from you. Shifts your total environment, man. And so that's what it's all about.
Or Oprah, one of these big people, get a hold of your podcast and they like it. And next thing you know, you're on the show and you're selling 1 million of whatever it is. I mean, it's just amazing what can happen.
Yeah, I think the story was told one time about Bishop T.D. Jakes. I'm a huge, huge, huge fan. And they said somebody had seen him in a small type television type setting, and I believe it was TBN that liked him, brought him on, and then one thing led to another, and the rest is kind of history with Bishop Jakes. What a great minister, what a great story. It's that one time, just one time that somebody sees that setting and that shift, that breath of air that could change your life.
That's it. So, guys, we want to invite you to be able to definitely make sure it is that you subscribe to the podcast page on both Instagram and Facebook. That's where we'll be kind of announcing what's going on. Then schedule that appointment so that way we can sit down and figure out what it is that your vision is for your podcast and see if you're a good fit for the Loft. But, Leon, thank you for doing
thank
this
you,
with me.
man. Thank you. I love your point, the good fit for the Loft. We're Christians. We're going to talk about God on here for sure, but it doesn't matter. We're here to help. It doesn't matter who it is, that business owner. And I want to say this, and I have your permission to do this.
Yes,
You've already told me. If you're a business owner or you're a pastor, and you need help getting your message out or learning how we've done this, we'll make our resources available to you to help you do this in your own church.
Absolutely. Yeah. As far as building out your own podcast studio, that's one of the things that we want to do as well. I'm telling you, there's so many different angles and so many different ways that we're going to be able to help so many people. So I'm excited about it.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely, guys. Definitely tune in. Definitely subscribe to both the Facebook and the Instagram channels. So that way it is that you keep up, and we'll let you know whenever we're ready to go next week. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.